Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the P-Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, HGUC Gundam TR-6, Hazel 2, or in just simple terms on the internet, the Woundwort in Titan's color version. Now once again, I'm not the most expert in terms of like the Advance of Zeta or AOZ stuff, so I might get some names wrong or confused. But anyway, this arrived yesterday, and I finished building it that night, and here we have the review. I'm a little bit late than usual because let's say like a few hours, let's say 2 to 3 hours, because I just came back from taking a English exam test or whatever. So first of all, I would like to mention I do not own the previous version, the Woundwort, the white version. So there won't be any comparisons with that, but I will mention, or no, I won't mention. I mean, so this will be a full review, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, I don't think this kit really requires some, how should I say, comparisons, but I'm pretty sure some people are curious about like the size regarding some areas of the kit, so that I will try to do my best. But as usual, we're gonna go with the components, and you can see, despite being a very small mobile suit, it's very compact and jam-packed with stuff, which is the main negative if I have to say something regarding the kit. But anyway, let's see what we get. So first of all, we're going to go with leftover pieces. Actually, before leftover pieces, let's talk about stickers. Here we have the sticker sheet. You can see I mostly used the cameras. I did not use the crotch V symbol because I colored the V symbol in gold. Here, this part, this one is basically one of those stickers that you have to fold around, and I will mention what part it's supposed to go. And we have these 4 stickers, which are meant for those long weapons that you see. So yeah, not as much stickers as I saw it, but not the best stickers as well. And then here we have some leftover parts. As usual, we do get some leftover polycaps. Nothing too special regarding that. Here we have some plates. They look like there's some sort of wings and some sort of cover up for some part, but once again, being leftover parts. Could be from the actual, not the actual, but the previous previous Woundwort. So yeah, could be that. And we get a nice sticker decal sheet. We get all sorts of symbols that we see from the AOZ stuff, and I keep dropping stuff, and I'm kind of getting a little bit angry. Here we have some small sticker sheets, a lot like the AOZ or Hazel symbols. We have this one that is written Omeka, and yeah. This one looks like some sort of connector, but I've been checking the manual, and I don't see this really being mentioned on the manual, so I think this is a leftover piece. But I should mention, I'm not going to show you guys the process of transformation because it's really a little bit complex, so yeah, I'm not going to show that on camera. And here we have another leftover piece. I think this is the actual from the actual previous version, because I think this is that butt looking thing that we see on it. Okay, now let's talk about its components. So first of all, let's go with the basics. So hand wise, we get 4 hands in total. We get those multi-purpose hands for left and right, so that's 2, and then 2 open hands for left and right. However, these are not your typical hands. These are not the ones that has the ball joints, but a peg on it that also has the moving wrists. So that's one interesting part. And we have its beam rifle, and the promo pics, I believe this was colored in gray, but you get this in the Titan's blue color. So yeah, and this is a very simple build. All you need to do is snap 2 pieces together, so there's no moving handle, no nothing. So yeah. And then here we have the parts for the transformation. Now this is kind of a parts former when it comes to the transformation, so it's not as like how the old ones do, like how, let's say, the HGUC Delta Plus, where you take off literally everything minus the head and the chest, and then you put everything else on some sort of block. It's not like that, but still there are some parts that you need to add on while you're doing the transformation. So some of them are those parts. So we have these spider legs, which are meant for the weapons that are on the sides. So these are legs for transformation for the weapons, not exactly for the Wave Rider-ish form. Here we have some extra wings, which actually goes onto the leg when you transform it. So it's not supposed to be on the leg when it's in its mobile suit mode. And then we have these wires that I'm not a big fan of, which are also meant for those weapon effect parts. And let's see, these are also meant for the weapon effect parts. Kind of a tricky part, actually, this is. So hopefully I can show you guys that properly. Here we have something that is required for the transformation. You can kind of see where this is going. You can see like the head being folded up there. So yeah, kind of a parts forming. I believe these two are also meant for the parts for the transformation, and this piece as well. I think if I remember correctly, this part is the one that connects the rifle. So yeah. So I'm not gonna show you guys the transformation process, but I will show you like how the transformation looks like. Okay, let's get on to the review now. Another thing I should mention, if it wasn't too obvious, you also get its own personal stand, because those legs are not exactly the same type of legs that we actually see in most normal mold suits or kits. Okay, so first of all, for those like a slight size comparison, you can see now height-wise, it's kind of similar to a standard mold suit kit. However, like if you check the body and the head size, or mostly the main body, you can see the body is extremely small. It's almost as big as, or it's almost small as the head. So you can see this is definitely a unique design mold suit, which I am a fan of, like have unique design mold suits, but I'm not the biggest fan of this. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know, something just led me on getting this, because the Wound War hype was a little bit too big, so that hype led me on getting this instead of the previous one. But if I don't think I'll be getting any more Wound War kits if they ever happen, unless a master grade happens. Okay, so let's start with the articulation. So with the head, now there's a lot of stickers going on. There's one on the forehead, as you can see, and then there's one on the back. And then, yes, despite how the head design is, there is actually a sticker for the eyes, but it's mostly covered up. So, head-wise, it can go down that much, up that much, not so much, but 360 twist also. I say it is possible, but you're going to have to, know your way through. So, because the head, you can see the design is colliding with a lot of parts. And then the body, very small body. I'm really small. I think this is like the smallest body I've ever seen in any kit. So ab crunch, sort of, but it's not really meant for ab crunch. 360 twist, not possible, because a lot of parts are colliding, and the part actually does not allow you to go more than that. Let's get the backpack actually. So the way how this is connected to the kit is that there's this actually separate Y-shaped piece that you have to connect to this part. And then that's where the action base is connected. So yeah, so the backpack, very big backpack, and those green stickers obviously are stickers. There's this part where you can actually lift up and open up and reveal something right over here, but yeah, it doesn't really mention the manual. And this backpack, as you can see, can move about 90 degrees, I think, or less. So this does allow you to, position these weapons a little bit more better. But once again, these weapons are also pretty heavy. So let's say if you're putting it like this, it will slightly fall down time to time like that. Okay, and then let's look at the arms. Actually, yeah, the arms. Oh boy, the arms are very weird. I'm just gonna say that. You can see. I'm just gonna show you guys the articulation. You can see the bending point is there. So that's one bending point, and then there's another bending point right over there. So I'm not even sure like if I'm supposed to call this a double jointed bend, but yeah. But the arm itself is pretty good. It can go to the side 90 degrees and then twist on its own 360, or on the lower part at least. And since it is on the peg, the arm itself does go 360. But once again, I'm just gonna say this: this kit, it will be limited when it comes to poses, which is why I decided not to take the 23 pictures for the intro, because I don't think I can pull off any good poses with this. I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna have to try to get a nice picture for the thumbnail. I'm just gonna say that. Alright, so that's that. And the hands plug in, despite being a peg, and that definitely looks like it's supposed to take in a ball joint, but it goes in and no problem at all. And these hands also have the moving wrist, so you can see that moving. Okay, and these weapons are actually connected to a peg. That's simple as that. A peg that's kind of a little bit bented. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, and it connects to there with a polycap. So actually, I'm gonna take it off, because yeah. And the way the backpack moves can go also left and right a little bit, so more adjustments for the weapon. But once again, the weapons are a little bit too heavy. Okay, and then let's look at the waist section. I'm not sure even you can call this a waist, but that red section, now that's one of the stickers that you have to use. And for me, I decided not to use the sticker, but I just used the gold Gundam marker to color that V symbol over there. Color separation wise, you can see the yellow are all separate pieces, so that's done pretty well. The leg sections are also pretty interesting. We have more stickers on the top of here, so I don't know. So I guess these cameras are more meant for the Wave Rider mode. So the legs, okay, let's see. They can go to the side very well, about that much. Or I think I can go a little bit more, but yeah, you get the gist of it. You can go there, forward 90 degrees, no problem. Backwards 90 degrees, no problem. And we, as you just saw, we have another bending point over here. I guess you could call this a double jointed bend, but once again, these are not your really standard legs. And also on the back section, you can reveal this part, so if you don't want to use a stand, I assume you can use these parts to, you know, stand. But once again, I'm gonna say it actually works pretty well. So, but it's gonna look awkward because of the overall design of the mobile suit itself, because I can't imagine this thing walking around on ground. Alright, I think we've seen the basics. Now let's talk about the equipment. So first of all I want to get rid of is the shield. Okay, the shield. The shield is not your standard shield where you have a peg and then there's a hole on the arm and then you can plug that peg into the whole arm. That's not the case. In this case, this is like works like a bracelet. So you have to take off the hand, and then you have this ring that connects to the main arm, and it does not go in that easily and out. So you can divide this part. That's the shield part, and this is the part where it connects to the main wrist. See? So this is the part. You can see it wraps around, or you have to cling it onto the arm and then reattach the shield. Not the best connection, considering like how much stuff going on with this mobile suit. It was not easy attaching that to the arm. And also I guess I should mention, the shoulder do have the forward and backward movement, as you can see, but not as a ball joint, just like a moving swivel peg sort of thing. Also, I guess this would also count as a swivel, as you can see. Okay, now we've seen the basics. Now let's talk about the equipment other than the shield, because boy, I really hated attaching that shield. But the shield itself does look nice. I will say that. Okay, and this review is going to be a little bit long, right? So the rifle. Now the reason why I pointed out there's no bending point here is because how the hand works. It's not easy attaching the beam rifle. So you can put it up straight, but as you can see, it pops out pretty easily, and then positioning it to the right or less awkward looking position is not easy, because you can see it's a big rifle for a small mobile suit, or at least a small body mobile suit. So you can see it's very awkward on doing this. Okay, and then we have these weapons. Now, as you can saw in the beginning, you can always just put these on the side and then, you know, make it look like they're firing. But if you don't like that, there is another way, but you need to do some parts. Like, how should I say? You have to change some parts. So you have to take this part off, and then get one of these parts, and then, okay, let's see. Yeah, you have to take some parts off, I believe. Actually, yeah, there's one more part that you have to take off, because there's actually a handle in this weapon. Come on. There's actually another handle in this weapon where you need to take this off. But either way, you know what? Actually, before this, I will show you guys the transformation first, because the transformation also takes a long time, and hopefully I can also show you guys the example of how the spider weapon works. So I'll be right back. Okay, before the transformation, I wanted to show you guys like how the weapons work, and I believe they call this the crow mode, which is basically where you turn this weapon into like a more spiderish form. Now, the transformation is not easy. This is basically a parts forming aspect where you have these parts, these leg parts. You have to basically replace them with the ones that are like folded up here, and there's these armors that are on the legs as well, on the spider. Now these, you have to take those parts off and then replace them on the ones that are like the opened up legs instead of the folded up ones. So that's one parts forming aspect. And then you have a wire that connects to the bottom of the spider. Oh boy. And yeah, you're gonna need a second span, another action base. So you can see from the bottom of the section, you can see there's this part where it connects the wire to this other part that's connects to the back of the arm. So now once again, this is another separate piece that connects to the arm, and then the wire is actually connected to another small peg that's a hole that's on a peg right over there. So yeah, there's a little bit too much stuff going on here that's not really happening on the kit itself. And then another thing is that the thing I was trying to do before the transformation is that you have to take this big chunk off the, this was the part that I was trying to get off. And then if you take this entire part off, it reveals a handle that you can put it on the on the kit itself. But once again, kind of wobbly, not the best ideal way of using things. But with the right pose, I guess you can do something like that. But once again, a little bit heavy, so you can see it's falling down to that side. Anyway, that's how the weapon works. Now I'll be right back with the transformation. Okay, I'm back with the transformation, and I basically misread the instruction manual, and yes, it is a parts former because you have the main body left. So sorry about that part of confusing you guys, but yeah, this is technically a parts former. So here we have the transformation. It is a mess. I'm just gonna say currently those weapons are on my wall so it doesn't fall off, but this is how it's supposed to look like, sort of. Now getting the rifle in the right position was not easy, so yeah, mine could look a little bit messy, but you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here. So you can see the weapons are not really hanging on properly, just too much for the mole suit. But I definitely do like the concept of the transformation, but yeah, it's not easy, or it's a little bit tricky to be done in the most perfect form. So yeah, that was pretty much it for the review. Now, the best way I can say this is that the mole suit is very compact, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff going on the mole suit, and there can be a lot of stuff that can be done on the mole suit as well. So it's going to be very messy when you're like playing around with this kit. I'm just gonna say that. But if you're a big fan of the mobile suit line, go for it. But don't expect of too much, like, don't expect it to be done, in a clean fashion. It's going to be a little bit messy here and there. So that's the best way I can do it, but that could be just me. And also there are some extra parts I forgot to mention, where those long stickers, where they go is basically on the weapon, where now I saw it, they were supposed to go on the middle, but no, it's the opposite way around. You have to wrap around the weapons minus the middle part. So that's why you get 4. You have to wrap around on the up and bottom, so for each side. So yeah, that's how it works. And the other one is also supposed to wrap around like some sort of wings on the arm section. So basically, I'm gonna take apart some stuff here and there. You can, yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is the wings that you're supposed to put extra stickers. So you have to wrap around the wings, and you can see, as I mentioned here, is like how the head is inside. So you can see like how the transformation works. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. Now, as I mentioned, there's a lot of stuff going on the kit and the mobile suit as well. So it's not gonna be easy playing around with this thing. So you're gonna have to like work your way around, and doing a lot of poses won't be as easy as you think. Also, be careful, like at least know what part moves and what parts don't move, so you don't break anything. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the Gundam TR-6. Hazel 2, or the Woundwarts in Titan's color. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.